Paul Brown said to me, son, act like you've been there before. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, I just barely got on the field. I hadn't been there before. So
I'm glad to be part of that trend. You know, sun's out, guns out.
How about Isaac Curtis on one side, Charlie Joyner on the other side? A lot of quarterbacks were very envious that I had those two weapons to throw to, but...
Now, wait a minute. Is it fair that Pat McInally is still the sexiest guy on our team? Is that...
You got me there. You got me good.
Darling, how you gonna be in that video not represent with a chain? Your tango, man. I got mine on. I'm ready to go.
Oh, that's great. That's priceless.
There are two guys that I think it's a travesty that are not in that Hall of Fame.
Ken Riley and Ken Anderson. Yeah, sure.
Put the backdrop on, Jamie. See if Marissa's okay with it.
Yeah, I got her back.
Oh, gosh.
Starting the Canadian fan club up here for you.
That is so funny.
My last touchdown, and that's what Joe Burrow's going to end up like if they don't start protecting his ass. It's going to be the next David Klingler, David Klingler stuff.
There's no Spanish-speaking people here, very few. So we, fast forward, we go to the Super Bowl in Miami, and the word was the Bengals have two big Mexican offensive linemen. They don't know how to speak Spanish. So I got down there and started doing these interviews in Spanish, and they're like, "Wait, we heard you don't speak Spanish."
What's going on, fellas? What's going on? But I got on the plane one day in an all red Suge Knight suit. And boy, Joe Walters and the liner, they destroyed me. I thought for sure I was so clean. I had some gaiters on, all red suit on. I was Suge Knight. They roasted me.
The head coach was really the pain in the butt. The Jerry Glenn, he thought he was. If you didn't know who he was, he walked out there like he owned his state. And I always say, if I could get a chance to hit him on the sideline, I would.
I'm tackling your ass, Pete. I'm shoestring low on you.
But I got to tell you, you would have been stepped on, son. You would have had cleats everywhere.
Well, I'm proud to be a Bengal. Yes, I'm proud to be a Bengal. Always been. I got nothing from you guys.
Welcome to our special edition of the schedule release, Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friends. And Tom, Jamie, James, good to see you guys again. Taking a week off here for Mother's Day. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you guys all.
I love watching that video. I still laugh every week. I know it's coming, and I still laugh every week. Yeah. Every week.
You know what's funny here, guys? I got to give it to our Canadian friend here. He's looking better than James and Jamie for sure. Has that new swag on, the new stripes on, looking good, man. Did you get it shipped to you?
Yeah, actually, I ordered from the official store and the NFL Canada, and the official store sent it to me pretty much right away. The NFL Canada is still somewhere in the mail. So I got a black one coming as well. So
nice.
In Calgary.
Happy to love it. Love the new jersey. Like, obviously talking about it, seeing you guys wearing them, seeing it online, but when you actually get it in person, the Paul Brown signature in the back, it's slick. I like it.
Beautiful, baby. Looks good.
Also, since the last time we saw Jamie, he single-handedly got the AstraZeneca shot banned in Canada.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, yeah. If I can survive the next 13 days, I should be in the clear, boys. So,
all right.
See how it goes.
We're thinking about you, buddy. We're thinking about you. So we got a couple great guests on tonight. We've got Paul Dehner Jr. from The Athletic. We're going to go over the schedule release that just happened about 15, 20 minutes ago with Paul. And we've got our buddy Caleb. We're going to call him the traveling Bengals fan. He's going to give us advice on how to get those away game tickets. We've got a great story for Caleb to share about Caleb and some advice he'll give us on taking this jungle on the road this year for these road games. So guys, let's get right into it, guys. Jamie, I know some people have already seen this, but let's go ahead and play. The Bengals did a release about 7:45 today, and I love the way they did it. They did all 17 games, including the bye week, and they also folded in the Ring of Honor. folks that are eligible for the Ring of Honor this year. So let's go ahead and play the schedule here, guys, and we'll get into some schedule conversation right after the short video here.
Here we go.
Guys, there's two things on that video that just hit me square in the face. One, I just love how they're tying the history into the current Bengals. I just love the, going back and Bengals history and them tying everything into the great past and tradition of this organization. But the second thing is, guys, I see 17-0. I don't see a loss on this schedule the whole damn year, guys.
Positive Jimmy's back. Jimmy's back.
The good news is the Chiefs will have clinched their spot by the time we play them at the end of the season. So, there's a potential W there. So there's the schedule, full schedule. The Bengals just put this out a few minutes ago. What games are you guys excited about?
The one thing that stands out to me is only the one primetime game, which is nice to have at home. For a while there, we had that Thursday night traditional home game, which we have this year, which should be good. Number one draft pick Trevor Lawrence against our number one pick, Mr. Burrow. That'll be fun in prime time. 3 out of the first 5 at home, which will be nice. And it looks like we've got the team from Pennsylvania earlier in the season, like we did a couple years back. So hopefully we get off to a good start. Tom, what do you think?
I'm looking forward to every single game, so it doesn't matter to me. I don't think that with the moves that have been made in the offseason, they have anybody to be afraid of to play this year. But certainly at the end, on the road at Denver, which no matter how the Broncos are, is not a fun place to play. And then Baltimore, Kansas City, and Cleveland. That's a real buzzsaw at the end. But I think they can get off to a great start. The lack of primetime games doesn't bother me at all because historically, the Bengals have never really done all that well in prime time. And, I think a football player has a time clock that it's due to go off every Sunday at 1:00. So that doesn't bother me in the least. So I think it's a good schedule, and it's an important schedule, especially in the beginning for this coaching staff.
I'm actually looking forward. I know a lot of people won't be excited about week number 2, but I'm looking forward to facing Andy Dalton in the second week. I think that's going to be neat. He should still be QB1 by week 2 in Chicago. I'm liking the Jacksonville game. against Trevor Lawrence. It'll be fun to watch. I'm hoping you guys all wear soothers when Aaron Rodgers comes to town in week number 5. And then
if he's there.
I'm loving Vegas. I'm hoping I can party with you guys in Vegas. And I like the matchup with the Chargers. I think if Herbert's playing well, I want to see Herbert versus a healthy Burrow, because that was the big talk last year, the 2 rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah. My take on this, again, I have no problem with the schedule. If I'm going to nitpick about something, I always wish we had more primetime games. Yeah. I know Tom makes a good point there, but I think we're in a new era of Bengals football. I want more primetime so we can show people we can win in primetime. But I love the home opener, guys. I'm excited about being at home. We had a home opener last year for the first time in a while. Obviously, we couldn't physically be in the stadium for that. I love the home opener. The last 5 out of 7 games are at home. Guys, I'm all in for this. The stretch run at Paul Brown Stadium, cold weather or not, I don't care, man. I'm excited about it. I think this is a good schedule, guys. I'm pretty pumped about it for sure.
Ending the season 5-7 at home reminds us of last year. We were light in the first half with home games, as you alluded to. Great to open up at home. Definitely be a lot of excitement here with Joe for year 2, and I think Tom, you said it, that bye comes at a perfect spot midway through the season. So, it's interesting. The NFL says 8:00 tonight. We saw a lot of schedule leaks here and there today. They released all the week 1 games. Another interesting tidbit, actually 2. I think by week 6, we're going to play everybody in the NFC North. So we're going to get all those teams out of the way. And then the home opener, week 1, I believe we are the only AFC North team that's starting at home week 1. So definitely need to capitalize on that and get off of the season on the right foot.
Now, about the primetime games, we were talking before we went on the air. Luke also brings this up as well, that there's obviously the possibility if the stars align and we're playing good, that we could see a flex in the prime time.
I think it happens. I think I'm
I think it's the Chargers game personally, guys. I know we're talking off air about Cleveland, but I think if Herbert and Burrow are both having a season, that might be the one that they want to feature. I don't know.
I think we should play them at night. Let the guys from the West Coast play in the cold.
I love it. As everybody's viewing and watching right now, Paul Dana Jr. will be on about 8:30ish. So go ahead and type in questions now. Anything you have for Paul. It can be related to the schedule or not related about the schedule, anything Bengal related at all. We're going to throw by Paul. We're pretty excited to have Paul from The Athletic on with us. So let's get through. We're going to come back to the schedule and dig into this a little bit deeper here, guys. But let's talk about just real quick. We want to welcome our friends from Who Dey Nation. We know you guys are out there watching. One of the best Facebook follows out there. Make sure you're part of that group if you're not following already. A bunch of good folks out there viewing, and it's a lot of fun staying in contact with those guys. And let's talk about the charity stuff, guys. And it's just been such a blessing and so fun to watch this evolve over the past few years. We've been doing it for 4 or 5 years now, James, and it's evolved into something like we never thought it would be. The volume that we're you guys are participating in this with us on, but. Our last show a couple weeks ago before Mother's Day, we did Tony and Carrie Brooks did Tony the Tiger and Carrie put together an 85 package for us. 85 jersey, I think it was T. Higgins, autographed football from Chad, and a bunch of other stuff in this package. We found a company that matched up to $2,000 for us. We sold 95 ducks for the charity duck race, guys, and we raised about $4,200. After we made Tony and Carrie whole with their package, the money they spent on that package, $2,100 for each one of those charities, the Anthony Munoz Foundation and the Ken Anderson Alliance. And Jamie, do you have that graphic? And one of the things that's important to us, that's the money raised year to date. There should be another image that shows if you're able to get it. If not, no big deal, Jamie, we can do it later. But I know it's not a really good screenshot here, but basically what this shows, and we just posted it on social media about an hour before the show. This will show you the dollars that was donated, and then the company match to the Ken Anderson Alliance and the Anthony Munoz Foundation. So it's very important to us that there's full transparency in the money where it's going. this will show you this, and we're going to do something with the Munoz Foundation and Ken Anderson Alliance to show that was money done for them. They're very appreciative of that. But the guys, over $11,000, and we're not even to the start of the season for these charities, and these charities are very appreciative of what you guys are doing.
And we got to thank all the guys and girls that have donated. Even last year in the COVID year, which was tough for everybody. Everybody came through strong, and starting off this year, huge. So it's been fun. I think the manner that we do it, some awesome prizes for everybody to take home, and look forward to continuing this through the end of 2021 here. So we haven't set an end goal of how much we can raise. We're just enjoying it. And again, it's all because of everybody's generous donations that these wonderful charities are getting substantial checks written to them.
Yeah, it is funny, guys, that we'll get direct messages from a lot of you to go unnamed, because that's how most of you guys are. They'll say, "Hey, if I happen to win this duck race, pay it forward. I don't want it. I just want to donate and use the same prize package for the following week." For a number of you guys have done that. So very cool, very generous, and it's really good to know and understand that the generosity of Bengal fans out there is very much appreciated by all the charities. So it means a lot.
What's cool for me about this, what you guys are doing with the charity, is when you have guys like Anthony and Ken on the show, just how much they obviously appreciate this as well. With this money going to their foundations, being raised by the fans, it's pretty cool. It's awesome to see.
I think it starts from the team itself. The Bengals sometimes very quietly are very supportive of Greater Cincinnati and all of Bengal Nation. Helping youth football teams, helping youth football fields, different charities. The players are just the same, and not to pat ourselves on the back, but us fans, are right behind them too. So it's a good community. It's indicative of where we live, and what we'll do for the community as a whole.
Yeah, we've tried to spread it out to, I don't know what the total number of charities are, but it's up there. If you have a charity that or something you want to donate to go to a charity, let us know. We're open. We'll continue to do it on the show. We'll do it at the tailgates as once we get back to normal, kick off the season, and what is it, 3 months now? It's going to be here 4 months before we know it. So looking forward to that. And again, that big number is because of everybody's generosity. So thank you to everybody that's donated to this point.
Yeah, I want to step back a little bit. Tom made a good point. Knowing the Brown family, again, it's not like I can call and sit down and have a beer with Mike or Troy and any of these guys, right? But knowing for a fact, as long as I've been following this organization and knowing the ins and outs, they're not an organization that donates money and says, "Look at me," and pounds their chest, right? But they do. They support a lot of stuff in the city here. They're not going to go out there and put it in the news and the media, but we know they do it, and we want to add to that as a fan base, helping out local charities as well. So good stuff. Thanks everybody for participating. We'll have those duck races back. I know a lot of people have fun with that, so we'll be back. Probably Sunday with the next duck race.
Jimmy, with that and with Jamie being back, it should be pointed out that the last week's duck winner for us did pass his test. That was completely legal. It wasn't like the Kentucky Derby. And, there was some speculation, but everything's good.
Yeah, somebody let Jamie out of Canada. Remember the free Vontez Burfict shirts? I feel like the free Jamie shirt from Canada, man. So yeah, let Jamie out of Canada. Well, hey, man, thanks again for the charity stuff. It's always good to talk about that. It's fun. It just feels great that everybody's really hopping on board and helping these guys out. So let's talk about let me give you an update on the Jungle to the Hall, June 19th. Guys, if you have not RSVP'd, please check our social media pages. I have dozens of people that I know that say they're going but have not RSVP'd. It's no fee. There's no charge to go up there. We're just trying to get an approximate head count. So if you could RSVP on that invite, I think it's an Ebright invite thing that we've set up. Please do so if you're able to. I sent emails out to almost 40 different national media outlets. We have 2 national media outlets that will start pushing this event and actually start pushing statistics around Ken Riley and Ken Anderson early June. They're not going to do it until about early June. So we've got some local media on board. We've got some national media on board. We're almost finished up with our decks for Ken Anderson and Ken Riley. Decks are just more specific information about statistics for Ken Riley and Ken Anderson, quotes, videos, and things that will be sent one email. We're not overwhelming them and being nasty, but all 9 of the senior voters are going to get one email each and have that information, stats and statistics and quotes and videos about, former players and Hall of Famers talking about the why behind Ken Anderson and Ken Riley, the reason they should be in the Hall of Fame. So we're almost done with that. But guys, this is a group effort, and the big thing is getting bodies up there. We got a really good chunk of folks that have RSVP'd. So it's important, if you're able to make it up there that day and you plan on coming up, make sure you're RSVP so we get a better head count of who's going to be there. We have rented a huge event tent on the grounds of the Hall of Fame, right next to the front door almost, guys. This is going to be outstanding. We're going to go after the rally from 1 to 3. We're going to have Anthony Munoz either there in person or virtually. We got Willie Anderson, Ken Riley II. There's others, surprise guests we'll have available for you that day as well. After that's over with, guys, we're literally going to take a tour of the Hall of Fame. And the Hall of Fame has put a special going to put a special Bengals display up front for us when we walk in. So let's support this is a chance for our voices to be heard. This isn't some storm the Capitol. I want to be very clear, guys. This is us going up there, having a good time, hanging with each other, and us just, recognizing our Bengal greats that should be our Hall of Fame. And that's what we're doing. We're going to have fun with it, guys.
Okay, just want to let everybody know we're getting people retuning back in. For some reason, it dropped connection on Facebook. We got a notice. We've reconnected. We are now streaming back live on Facebook, and people are starting to rejoin the stream. But in case I see a couple people confused in the chat, wondering if this is a recorded video, we are in fact live Wednesday night for the scheduled release, and this is just we're reconnected to Facebook now. People are starting to log back in.
Okay, good. So a couple other things we're doing, guys, that day. I don't know if you could put a couple. If you ever watched a basketball game and you see the free throw shooter getting ready to shoot, and behind him there's hundreds of fans holding up these fat heads. Well, we got we got some fat heads being printed up. Obviously, like these are huge, like 3 foot by 3 foot, fat heads we got Ken Anderson, a couple Ken Andersons. We got a Ken Riley that we're going to be holding up. So there'll be some great photo ops with some of our fat heads, and we'll have some other fat heads there as well. So this is going to be a lot of fun on June 19th. So I got the whole family coming up, so we're going to have a great time with it.
Will there be a Bengal Gym one?
No, dude. Don't. No, man. It's not. Damn it, James.
Tom asked me to ask that question, so he just didn't want to stir.
I'll give you the $5 later.
Yeah. So good stuff, man. We're excited. I know there's a lot of people actually heading up there Friday night too. So we will be up there for sure Saturday and leaving at some point Sunday. So make sure you're RSVP if you're going. Tell your friends and family. Make sure you get the word out on it. It's going to be a fun time. Let's talk about season tickets. It has been a whirlwind on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. People see that season tickets are as low as $400 and they can't believe it, right? Season tickets for $400, that's affordable. People automatically think season tickets are unaffordable. Guys, there are price ranges all over the board. The Canopy Crazies, I think, are as low as like $400 if I'm not mistaken. So here's what I'm going to tell you. You can always go online and find the information, but I think the easiest way for you to do, the Bengals ticket office, the ticket folks have been working their butts off. Call this number on your screen, the 621-8383. I was putting a different number on social media that was going to the receptionist, but call this number. That goes directly into the ticket office. So the single game tickets are on sale now. And the best thing for everybody to do, and I need everybody to hear me on this, the best thing for you to do is to call that number and buy the tickets directly from the Bengals for a lot of different reasons, but specifically, you're not going to pay those additional fees that you pay when you go to another vendor, another third party that you buy the tickets through. So if you're going to buy single game, if you're going to buy season tickets, call that number as well. There's a lot of people heading down the next week or two picking out their seats. They know they prepay, but they're going to pick out their seats in whatever section. 158 is the best, but Canopy Crazies are gaining on us, guys. We need to be loud up there in 158 to support the team. But so if you're buying single game tickets, call that number as well and buy the tickets from the Bengals because you don't have to pay any fees if you buy them directly from the Bengals. That's a big deal. It's a big deal.
I want to also give a shout out to the Bengals ticket reps. The rep I've been dealing with has been in touch with me this season. Obviously, being from Canada, With COVID, I can't travel. I didn't renew last year, obviously, for the same reason. Didn't renew again this year because it's up in the air whether or not I'm allowed to come down to the games or not. And the reps have been great about it. And I actually got a call last week that they're going to hold my seats another season for me to renew them again next year. So that's
very cool.
That's very cool. Yeah.
Hey, can you put up a question here? Our friend from Canada here on Periscope, on Twitter, it looks like Kevin Dragoon Aurora.
Yeah. This one.
Yep. So I think this is, if you go to the website, the NFL and the Bengals have like Ticketmaster that they if you go online to buy the single ticket, I think they send you right to like Ticketmaster. I could be wrong on this, guys, but that's why I'm telling you, call the phone number that we gave you. Call that 513, that 621-8383 number. You will not pay any fees if you buy the single game tickets through the Bengals. If you go into websites, I'm pretty sure those links take you to like a Ticketmaster, or there's fees that are associated with it. Call the Bengals. They'll take care of you.
621-TD-TD.
That's right. I had that other number memorized for so many years, just calling the receptionist down there. That's the number I've been giving out. And evidently I was like, hey, make sure they call the ticket office directly. So my bad. So I'm amazed. I'm amazed at how many new people are getting season tickets. Not just people renewing, but there's a massive amount of new people getting season tickets. And it's fun to watch. And the excitement on social media is infectious. It's kind of fun to see.
And if you look at the schedule this year, I mean, it's a pretty stacked group of teams coming to Paul Brown Stadium. Coming number 1 draft pick Trevor Lawrence, Aaron Rodgers if he's still in Green Bay, Pat Mahomes. Obviously, the AFC North is stacked. So this is a year, if you don't have season tickets, definitely jump on the train. A lot of exciting games going to be at PBS in 2021.
Yep.
Plus, get the best damn tailgate in the NFL.
No doubt, man. Wait till you hear what we're getting ready to. We can't talk about it now, but man, it's going to be big time. So I'm going to back up a little bit. The single game tickets are where there's a fee if you go to a third party. There is no fee if you call the Bengals directly. Okay, the season tickets are a different thing, but those single game tickets, don't pay those fees. Call the Bengals, get your season ticket. Get the single game tickets. A lot of good games out there. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and bring on our first guest, guys. So we do have an answer there from Luke. I know a bunch of people have been there. Yeah, Allie Tokar has been amazing, and there's a bunch of great ticket reps down there that do just an absolutely amazing job. Now you got to be patient, guys. There are thousands of people calling in. If you have to leave a message, I'm telling you, they will call you back. Be patient, but they have been doing a great job taking care of people as they call in, or returning their phone calls if they have to. So one of the things we see with this schedule release before we bring Paul Dana on is, this would be the first year that I actually plan on going to all 17 games home and away. I've been to 13, 14 games. I think one year I went to 15 games. I didn't make it to all 16. But this is the year that I'm planning on hitting every single home and away game for the first time. God willing, if that allows, I can make that happen. It'd be awesome. So let's bring on our friend Caleb. And Caleb, I don't even know what to call Caleb. We're going to call Caleb and Rob, the traveling Bengal fans. And these guys have not missed an away game since 2017. They know all the ins and outs of where to go to buy tickets, how to get it, make it easy for you. So, Rob, Caleb, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Bengal Jim?
What's up, man? Hey, do you guys live in the same apartment? What's going on there?
We're roommates. Yeah, you guys and your jokes. I love it. Might as well be, though. I mean, Dayton, Cincinnati,
Yeah.
He's actually my contractor I was telling you about that's taking care of the renovation. So I appreciate that. Thanks, Rob.
I try to make sure there's no holes in his house.
Yeah. Well, hey,
stay away.
Let's talk about. We have hundreds of folks viewing right now, so a lot of us on the screen here have been to many games, home and away together, and you have found some unique ways. Let's talk to the viewers right now about if they're planning to go on away games. Now, we're going to talk at some point in another episode the away games, where to go, where to stay, and what to do, and all those things. But today, we just want to focus on, hey, if you have your season tickets for home, but you want to go to an away game or two, Rob, Caleb, walk our viewers through some recommendations on how to get tickets and the best way to do it.
Well, as far as tickets go, we typically try to sit in the front row. That's the goal. So it's a little bit different as far as exactly like filtering searches and whatnot. But we found the best place with has no fees in most cases is TickPick, TickPick. That's typically the best way to do it. We also try to sit next to the Bengals tunnel, as you know. Obviously, you've been to a lot of these away games with us, so you know what we try to do. You know what we try to do there. Rob's kind of the experts on the flight.
Yeah, really when it comes down to flights, it's just about you have to kind of scour the flight schedules and just kind of, like day in and day out. Like sometimes I will be checking over and over because they'll adjust flight prices daily, weekly, something like that. Just kind of depends on the trends. And sometimes it's just about you see a deal and you end up finding it, or I'm sorry, you end up pulling the trigger on it that day. Whatever it might be. Sometimes it's best to get them early, but that there's been a couple of times that we've gambled and we pulled the trigger a week before our game.
Usually about 6 to 8 weeks is typically the magic number.
Yeah.
As far as flights go, but like you said, sometimes we wait and gamble and try to get closer to the end. But 6 to 8 weeks ends up being the usual one. Yeah, that's the website. There you go.
That's the one.
Yeah, I mean, right now they haven't updated the schedule, just released. But I mean, the price you see on that website is going to be the actual price you pay versus all the other ones you see a price and then it adds about 15 to 20% in fees. NFL Ticket Exchange is usually pretty good as well too about keeping the fees as low, but it's usually in most cases TickPick's the cheapest one.
And it really comes down to as well, like you got to use your resources, man. All the different places have like flyer miles and stuff like that. We're cashing in flyer miles. We're part of any rewards program that we can be a part of. We're anything like I've signed up for a Southwest credit card and ended up getting a free flight out of it and made $100 flight, as a matter of fact. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's whatever is available at the time for where you're going, because some airlines don't go certain places. So really it's just, you gotta play the cards and just use every resource. The other part of it too is this, where we stay.
Yeah, a lot of times, as you guys know, I'm a gambler, so a lot of our trips kind of take place with landing in Vegas and then going out elsewhere. So, I mean, for example, in Seattle, when you went with us, Jim, in Seattle, we stayed one day in Seattle, and then we wanted to come back and go to the Reds game 2 days later. But the Airbnb we ended up staying at was like $400 or $500 a night. So instead of staying there, we flew to Vegas and stayed there for 2-3 nights.
So let me ask you guys. So what is the good time? So the timing of trying to buy these away game tickets, because I'm hitting all 17 games this year, guys. So to buy those away games, you want to let the market kind of get out there for the next couple of days, right? As far as the tickets are concerned, when is a good time for people to start looking at TickPick and start ordering those tickets?
So most cases, it's about the same time as the flights. Typically 6 to 8 weeks is the magic number. But as he mentioned, I mean, we're on it from this point until the game goes on. I mean, we know we're going regardless. So it's just knowing the prices and essentially trying to decide when you're gonna go ahead and pull the trigger.
We sometimes argue about it, honestly. Like sometimes I'm like, nah, dude, we need to wait. He's like, nah, man, we need to go. And he's been right sometimes. I've been right sometimes.
And it's also we're adding. I mean, we bring usually a huge group with us in most cases. We try our best to do that. I mean, my girlfriend and I have been to the Cleveland game like 5 years in a row. Before I even met him, my dad had taken me to like 5 Pittsburgh games. So, I mean, it's also trying to incorporate other people into it makes it a little bit more difficult as well.
Typically earlier is better. It's rare, but sometimes we've caught a deal at the last minute. But typically, the earlier that you can start looking at them, the better. because there's going to be new stuff that pops up daily. This guy scours these tickets like every day. He's on it. Like I get so many texts. I almost get upset at him because he sends me so many texts like, "Hey, look at this, look at this, look at this." I'm like, dude, I have a job. Like, what are you like? He's on it every day. So you really like, to make it efficient, if you're going to go to 1 or 2 and you don't really care and you just want to, have fun. But I mean, if you're trying to hit all these games, that's a lot of money and you got to do it efficiently as possible. So this guy really takes a lot of time and he puts in the effort to make sure that we're getting the best deal so that we can go to all these games and sit in front row at that. So whenever
I have a question for you. Besides, I heard you guys you're gamblers. So besides obviously the Vegas game, what away game are you looking forward to the most? Which one would you recommend? What city would you recommend people going to? You can only go to one away game this year.
This year, 100% Denver, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Denver before. Rob hasn't been to Denver yet.
I've been to Denver, but not for a game.
Yeah.
But I've heard him talk about the Denver game, and
So
it's just the one to be at.
I think Denver's the loudest stadium that I've been to. I've been to Kansas City. I've been to Minnesota. Over Kansas City. Yeah,
the coolest part about Denver, I think it was there the last Monday night game. They had kids riding like mini horses. That was like the halftime show. That's by far the coolest.
The monkey dogs thing. Exactly what it reminded me of. Which obviously, we all love that.
That must be the elevation.
Bet on them somehow. That's the magic. The magic. What we're looking for there.
Well, guys, hey, man, we appreciate it, man. Thanks for the advice. I mean, we want to take the jungle on the road this year. We're going to fill up PBS this year. And the Bengals fans travel. If you've never been to an away game, I'm telling you, I travel to a lot of away games. Bengals fans do travel, and they travel very well. How can we expand on that this year? And thanks, Rob and Caleb, for some direction on where to find these tickets at and how to find them and timing on it. So there'll be a lot more people heading out for these away games for sure, man. We appreciate you guys being with us.
Absolutely, man.
Thanks, guys.
Who day, guys?
Who day.
All right.
All righty.
So we got we have Paul in the waiting room.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
Let's bring him on.
Here we go.
Paul, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
What's up? How we doing, guys?
Hey, so we saw the schedule, brother. I see 17-0. Do you agree or disagree? What's going on?
Yeah, There's no other potential outcome, right? It's got to be 17-0. Yeah, no, I mean it's fun. Look, I'm like you. Where are the trips, right? Did they hose us with Denver in December? They did. Unfortunately, it's going to be full of snow. It's going to be cold, but Chicago early, Vegas in prime gambling season. Love those two trips. They're very well positioned, and from a football standpoint, man, like they only leave Cincinnati 3 times in the last 10 weeks of the season. That's a big perk for when you're really grinding through a pretty brutal conclusion. So those are kind of my big takeaways. Started with Vegas, though. When is Vegas?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's scheduling their away game around Vegas when it is. We've already got people reserving hotel rooms. We're good for Vegas, Paul. We just got to figure out how to get in that stadium a little bit less expensive than what we hoped. So
they built a nightclub in the end zone.
Is that where I'm going to see you, Jim? Are you going to be in the nightclub?
Yeah, I'm DJing that game. I'm good. So, Paul, the only thing, I mean, there's nothing I feel the same way. That home opener is great. The last 5 out of 7 games at home, I love it. The bye is at a perfect time, in my opinion. The only thing I kind of thought there might be another 1 or 2, national TV games, but there could be flexes, right?
Yeah, I guess since we're always in bold prediction season, I would be very comfortable predicting that one of those games will get flexed because, one, if the Bengals and Burrow get themselves to relevancy over that first half of the season, and they're even at 500 when you hit that last stretch of San Francisco, Denver, Baltimore, Kansas City, Cleveland, I mean, those are high-profile opponents. And if people are wanting to see Burrow, who's starting to turn into that guy, there's a very good chance you could see one of those. And the Chargers too. If you had the Chargers kind of turning into a team, and you had Herbert and Burrow coming into their own, and and don't forget this year Monday night games also can get flexed out. So you have another opportunity twice in the same weekend that you can end up moved up. And so I would not be stunned at all if you see them flexed sometime in December with one of those big high-profile type games, the one that takes them there.
Yeah. Tom, I know you had a question as well. We had a bunch of them in here, so.
Paul, I know when we had you on last time, you talked a little bit about how the schedule was going to affect this coaching staff. Do you see this schedule? Well, certainly no game is a gimme, but at least up front early, some winnable games that might help this coaching staff and give this team some confidence in itself?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the games that, have winnable written all over them, Vegas over-unders are some of the lowest. They're all in the front half. I mean, the 4 of those last 5, when I was talking about those high-profile games, 4 of those last 5 are against teams that have double-digit Vegas over-unders. So, I mean, it's brutal. It's a brutal stretch to close. You talk about San Fran, Baltimore, Kansas City, Cleveland. That's all double-digit over-unders. Your lowest, though, are all right there in the front. I mean, at Detroit, Jacksonville, Minnesota and Chicago are very winnable games. You got teams with quarterback issues between who knows what Roethlisberger's going to look like coming back for Pittsburgh. Minnesota's fine, but they struggled at this tail end last year. You've got Dalton, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, a rookie, Jordan Love. Goff will be new in Detroit. All these teams, the Jets will have Wilson. All the teams on your schedule with quarterback issues, with quarterback questions, are at the front. They're all at the front. And to me, that's what you want when you're looking for, is a schedule good or bad? I want the teams that look great on paper far down the line because things change over the course of a season. The teams you thought would be great in December often aren't. And the teams that you think have quarterback questions they have to figure out, I want them early while they try to figure that stuff out. So in that respect, this is great for them because they do need to win early. They need to build confidence. They need to build momentum. They need to make people believe in this coaching staff, which they haven't really been able to do to this point. So, I don't think there's any doubt that there's manageable games, there's winnable games, but there's also, if you blow the first half of the season of all these manageable, winnable games, then what? There's always pressure in the NFL, and there's no difference this year.
Yep.
Any game that stands out to you, Paul, that, we talked about the primetime games. We talked about Zach Wilson, new right before the bye. Anything that stands out at this schedule other than, only the one-time primetime game as of right now?
All signs are that Burrow's going to be fine to return for week 1. But if you did want to go the Carson Wentz route that we saw a couple years ago, they did 2 extra weeks just to be sure. You have 2 NFC games right at the top. So, I mean, it's like a little tiny insurance policy you can keep in your pocket. And neither of those teams, now I'm never going to bet against Zim not getting after the QB. But last year they were 28th in sack percentage, the Vikings. And the Bears, despite having Khalil Mack, were middle of the pack. They were, between 17 and 24 in the major pressure ratings. So I also want Burrow to start with comfortable pockets and the new offensive line to not be having their stiffest test of the year right out the jump while Burrow tries to get used to playing with his knee again. And so that's the biggest thing I was looking for in general this year. And I think it's a nice soft-ish landing spot. I'm always nervous about a Zim defense, as anybody that's watched this team is, and their ability to get after you. But they didn't last year, and so they're still trying to figure that out. So I think that is a fairly comfortable landing spot for Burrow right off the jump.
Okay. Well, hey, just real quick, just a reminder to our viewers right now, hundreds of you guys out there. Any questions for Paul you want us to throw by Paul, make sure you type them in the chat area now, and Jamie will pop some of those up. Jamie, I think you had a question too.
I'll go to Tom first. I'll throw it back.
Go ahead.
Okay. A little bit following up with that, Paul. After the draft, after the offseason, I was just wondering, Frank Pollock kind of sent a message right after the draft, which was, 1, he liked the guys they had, and 2, he wanted everybody to forget the last 2 years, how everybody had been treated, how everybody had been talked to, and how everybody had been taught, and it was a fresh slate. Do you see any of the guys that we had? Not just, we've got some really good additions in Reef, and so forth. But any of the guys we had that were on the roster last year stepping up this year and helping us, achieve that solid offensive line?
I don't know if he's going to do it, but I find Michael Jordan to be fascinating as a storyline. I mean, the guy, they had many hopes, and he has so many physical traits that you love, and he's shown so many flashes of really being a powerful, potentially dominant type of guard just with his size and his athleticism. And I don't know what happened with him the last 2 years other than it didn't go well. And then to have a guy who was the one responsible for what happened to Burrow, the mental aspect of that is crazy to me. And, but you see him and he seems to be as confident as ever. And he's working with Willie Anderson and he's sort of putting himself out there, on his own Instagram and not really shying away from anything. I'm really curious to see how he responds both physically and mentally to the last 2 years and how much this refreshes him, how much the coach situation was wearing on him, and maybe this gets more out of him. I don't know if it will. I don't know if he'll be a factor at all, but I find him the most fascinating case on that line. I think Jonah Williams, I think you hope can turn into a number 11 overall first offensive lineman selected type player. He was very fine player in his first season. He needs to be a little bit better, and I think everybody acknowledges that. And I think there's a hope that Pollock can get more out of him too. I think there's a lot of guys there. Billy Price obviously is super invigorated by the return of Frank Pollock. So maybe if they need him, they've got something there. But Jordan to me is the most fascinating case. I can't imagine the mental fortitude it takes to come back from what happened last year.
I know we're saying it's important for this team to win early and get off to a good start. What's the sense of how long or short the leash is if we get off to a bad start for Coach Taylor?
It's a good question. I don't know. The bye now being November 14th here. I mean, I think there's going to be you're going to be seeing what they look like at that point. I mean, I think that's going to be relevant. If they come out and if you're sitting there and what is that, 10 games? I mean, you're sitting there and if you're 3-7 or 2-8 after 10 games, when you consider all the money and all the roster that they've done and how much talent they feel like they have on the team, coming off a 6-25-1, that's a nervous bye week for me. And so I think that's going to be a point that I would be pointing to. You never know though. Like you go back through the history, and you can do that with this franchise because just the ownership group being the same, you can see trends there. And, when they have made changes, it's been mid-season, and sometimes it's been early, and sometimes it's been late when they have pulled the plug on head coaches. I think there's a lot of belief in the building in what Zach Taylor and his staff still are doing and can do in the direction they can have this thing headed. But it's hard to know how antsy they would get depending on what it looks like, on Sundays. It's an important first couple months of the season, and it always is. But all pressure is on for sure on them. All eyes on them.
Going back to the flexing, Paul, you mentioned Monday Night Football was added as a flexible option in 2021. Is that going to be the same rules as it was in years past with Sunday night after a certain point in the season? I think it was 6 or 8 weeks in.
Monday Night Football, I believe, is week 12 on.
Okay.
And there's I think they have to announce it. I have to refresh on it. I think it's 2 weeks out. They have to announce a Monday change instead of a Sunday to Sunday change. So there's a little bit more buffer time for teams to adjust their schedules and hotels and all that stuff. So, so it adds I think that was baked into some of the new contracts for TV that they really wanted to see taken care of, so the Monday doesn't have all those stinker games like they've had in December, and have the same chance that Sunday Night Football has of getting the premier games on there. So yeah, I believe it's week 12 on. Don't go quoting me on that just yet. I need to go refresh myself because they just changed that just recently this offseason.
You know, on the schedule, they mentioned the 3 preseason games. I think a lot of the players liked no preseason. Obviously tough for a team like us with a rookie quarterback not getting Joe, the live action reps against other opponents per se, not even the intra-squad practices they had, like when the Giants came to town several years back and things like that. What do you expect out of the preseason in 2021?
It's important for a lot of people. I mean, they need to get this defense playing together for a little bit. You don't normally see the starters playing a ton, but when you're bringing in so many new pieces, particularly in the secondary, all new corners are going to be out there trying to mesh with everybody. You've got new defensive linemen, your offensive line. You're going to be trying to figure out what that is, who that looks like. I mean, you need to be getting Jackson Carman a ton of reps. You need to be having these guys out there getting some chemistry together before they go protecting Burrow in week 1. So, it's going to be really important for them just to get people out there working and playing together because they've made so many changes yet again for the second year. And they're depending on, some rookies being contributors. That when you're doing that, the preseason can be valuable. And it was, part of what hurt them early in last season a little bit. They just could have used a little bit extra reps, and maybe they pull out a couple of those early games.
Yeah.
Paul, sorry, Jimmy, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jimmy.
I was going to say, Paul, as someone who covers the team, is there like a different sense of excitement this season with the new day, the new stripes, all the changes coming in, this team now being the team that Zach built? Is it different this year than maybe last year or years previous?
Slightly. I mean, yes, there is. I mean, the new stripes in the offseason stuff is fun. It's nice. I'm glad they're doing it. There's a lot of positives there on that side of the building. It doesn't change anything for, I think, how you view how the team's going to do. We've seen lots of great off seasons in the business side, jack squat on the field, and vice versa. And so I don't take that. But as far as the team, you're right. I mean, they finally cleared out everything that was there before. It is now Zach Taylor, Joe Burrow's team. There's no seating and being nervous in the locker room about what you're saying. Like everybody they brought in to change the culture is here and in leadership positions with no one holding them back, and that's important. They've been building for this. I remember it was a conversation I remember having with Zach. It was, I don't know if it was in a press conference or just a chat. I honestly don't remember, but it was after the San Francisco game in week 2 of 2019. And at San Francisco at that point, ended up being their Super Bowl year. And, they were great, but it was their 3rd year for Shanahan. And he was like, that team, the way they played is what it looks like 3 years in. That's what it's supposed to look like when you build a little bit and then boom, you get everything in place. Which, remember, Shanahan and the Niners were terrible his first 2 years because of the Garoppolo issues. They were very up and down. And then all of a sudden they came on when they got everybody healthy and all their pieces in place, including Bosa, who they got with the top pick. And so I'm very interested to see if that is what happens here, because I think that's what it was sold then, and rightfully so, that by the time you get to year 3, it should look like the 49ers did when they whooped their butts that day. It should be a team that has all the pieces. They know what they're doing. They can hum on all cylinders. They've got lots of good players and their types of players. So that is different. That is a different feel. And so, yeah, I think in that respect, it does. And it also feels like the pressure is a lot more on this year than it has been the first 2 years. The clock is ticking.
Paul, I know we haven't talked to you since the draft, but just get a quick take on the draft. I'm excited about what they did in the offseason. Again, 2 years in a row, spending $100+ million in free agency. And then they nailed the draft last year. And time will tell, this year's draft. But just your quick take for everybody that's viewing right now.
I mean, as a whole, I liked it. I mean, we'll all watch what happens with Jackson Carman, and we'll watch Tevin Jenkins and Liam Eichenberg and the other guys that they passed on in order to go for Carman, and how that plays out. Because that was the key component to the whole Chase strategy, which I don't have a problem with. Was making sure you got that right, and that was the nervous factor, because there's just been so many years they haven't been able to get the offensive line pick right, and so how that plays out will probably be how we view this. And then I love the idea of look around the league, look at the teams that are playing at the end, look at how they're constructed. They throw it at the highest, most explosive, efficient levels, and most of them do everything else okay. Like, that's just kind of what the league is now, and I think they have built a team that's constructed that way with Chase and Higgins and Boyd and Mixon and Burrow. You have that all under contract for the next 3 years, and that is what can carry this team. You need everybody else to be okay, be enough, be good, maybe be really good, but be okay. And if you do that, that's a team that can win a lot of games, that can win a division, and can really be a player as that position player, that skill group grows together to be potentially the best in the league. I mean, that's what you hope it looks like. And for that fact, I love the Chase pick. And I really like what they did defensively too in the second, on the third day. I like the multiple hits at the relentless pass rusher that they just so badly lacked last year, and maybe one or two of them turn out. But I liked everything they did on day 3. I thought it was a real productive day.
Yeah, good stuff. So everybody that's viewing right now, I know we had some connection issues somehow on Facebook, but it looks like Twitter or Periscope and YouTube are fine. We're back up on Facebook. Things are good there. Paul, is it true? The rumor's true that you were responsible for the leaks of the schedule prior to 7:45.
I could not have had less to do it. I hate this day. I think this is the dumbest day in the National Football League year, where everybody's trying to decipher a game here and a game there and figure out, oh, well, I'm almost got it all together. No, I'm just sorry. I'm just going to go mow the yard, and then at 7:45 we can really discuss it. I mean, we already know who everybody's playing. I care about where the trips are. I care that I'm not going to get snowed in when I go to Denver. That's the thing. But the piecing together the puzzle and the leaking, it's exhausting. I can't do it.
Not flying on Christmas.
Oh, hey, how about this? New Year's, Christmas, and Thanksgiving all home. Scribe dream, all 3 of them.
Well, Paul, hey man, it means a lot. And if all the viewers out there, if you're not a subscriber to The Athletic and you're not following Paul on social media, do so. All of us on the screen, subscribe and follow and keep up with these guys. Do an outstanding job, Paul. We appreciate you being on. We love following you. You do a great job, man. We just keep doing what you're doing, buddy. We love it.
I mean, anything for Hollywood Jim. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of basking in the shadows of greatness over here. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I'm just happy that you still remember me. You know, every time I turn on the TV or listen on the radio, there you are, man. I'm telling you, the star is risen.
I got like a twin. It's not me, man. It's not me.
I love it. Congrats to all you guys. All you guys are doing here too. This is awesome. It's been so fun to watch you guys get so many awesome guests and the old time players and everybody else. It's been really cool to see and follow, and you guys are doing a great job with everything. So anytime you need me to come on, I'm always good for you, Jim.
You're the man, Paul. We love you, buddy.
See you guys.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
See you.
Paul, I think, wants one of those Bengal Jim fatheads that we're going to have at PBS.
You do not bring one of those, James. Do not bring one. Oh,
my $5 I made from Tom, I'm going to buy one.
Hey, I really like what he was saying about that bye week being in week 10. That's where you're going to know where this team is at. That's where you're going to see
fair.
If we're 3 wins by that point, I think it's a change. And if we're playing 500 or above, it's Zach's team.
Yeah, I think great point. I think we hit it pretty good with Paul today. This is clearly now Zach's team. I mean, it took him a year or two when he came in. This is his squad now. There are no more excuses. We can't have the devastating injuries at key positions in depth. Now, maybe we've added some depth in that defensive line. We've added some depth on the offensive line, which was critically needed. We're very strong in our skilled positions. We need to keep our quarterback healthy. I think we're pretty strong in that secondary, especially safety. Linebackers, hopefully a second year, because last year they were really young. Hopefully those guys step up a little bit more. And I'm really hoping we get more pressure off the edge. I mean, the kid from Texas, I'm hoping he really has a hell of a rookie season, because that can really make a difference for us on defense.
Well, I know we're going to talk about this in coming weeks a little bit more on the draft, but I like what Paul said, and it's a really good point. No one's talking about how they kept hitting on the pass rushers. I mean, all the way through the 7th round. And even our 7th round pick, he had a great week at the Senior Bowl. So, you hope one of those guys, maybe two of those guys, become a difference maker on defense. But, you're right. It's Zach's team. This is, sink or swim.
Yep. Well, let's go ahead and close this out, guys. Jamie, you want to start with you, bud?
Did you say me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jamie. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's all good. Yeah, I'm excited. I think this is a winnable schedule. I'm excited to see. I think this team get off to a fast start. I hope. And for me, obviously, guys, I want to come down. I'm just hoping that we're able to travel. I'm hoping I'm there for the home opener. At the very least, I'm there in Vegas. You guys might have to drag me out of the casino to come to the game, but I will be there. We'll get the champagne room at the nightclub in the end zone.
Oh Lord.
Tom? I'm just thinking about Jamie, who's engaged, but what's going to happen. But I like the schedule. I don't think we could have asked for a way to have fallen better. Like Paul said, it's there for us to take it early and really get off to a strong start, keep the excitement going, and make December, not be worried about who we're playing, but, make December a push for the playoffs. And I think everything's there. And even if we are playing those teams, they got to come here. So, no, I'm really excited. I don't think it could have gone better.
Tom, I think, look at Jamie's blushing. He hasn't been that red since he had the Marissa backdrop.
I realized I said the champagne room, and I meant to say like VIP room, and I said champagne room.
Every week there's a phrase that's uttered on this show that I have to say I did not think that would be said tonight, and that's tonight's.
Like VIP room, I said champagne.
All right. We'll continue on. Sorry for the technical difficulties tonight, especially those that logged in on Facebook. We'll try to get those fixed. Don't know what those were, but we'll have our highly paid production team get on top of that. Before we forget, Max Montoya's birthday today. So former guest of the show, great lineman. So there's Max with Allison, I believe. Yep. So happy birthday to Max. Again, thanks everybody for the charity donations. Gave you a week off to let that wallet cool tonight. But appreciate everybody that's donated the last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, however long we've been doing it, 2 years on the show. And look forward to it now that finally the fall calendar is not penciled in, but inked in, and we know what we're doing from September through early January now. So can make the appropriate travel plans, do something on the bye week. Unfortunately, I'm not as happy as you guys with this Vegas date. I was hoping it was the week earlier. I'm going to be in the Bahamas watching my other team, Syracuse, play, but Jamie in the champagne room, I'm sure you'll send pictures, Tom.
We're going to do a live show from the champagne room.
But as Jimmy knows, I just celebrated my 29th wedding anniversary Monday. I want to make it to 30, so you can rely on the guys on the top to send those pictures.
Guys, I'll take it from the team. It's all good.
I hope Aaron's not watching.
Oh, goodness. All right, we'll let Jimmy end on that note.
I hope Aaron's not watching right now.
I was kind of hoping champagne room meant something different in Canada. I could just pull like Oh, up here it's
It didn't translate well, Jamie.
Yeah. Well, guys, I mean, what's cool about this, thanks everybody for viewing. You know, this is what's fun about this time of year, especially the schedule release. Hope and optimism reign supreme, guys. And this is, if you're not optimistic at this time of year, just, I don't know what's wrong with you. I mean, this is fun. And, you know, I'm excited about the schedule. I think it plays out pretty well for us. So it's good stuff. So a couple things. We're going to be back this Sunday, back on a regular schedule Sunday. Guys, we were doing the first time ever. We're not going to have a special player or media person. Guys, we're going to have you as guest on the show next this coming Sunday. We're going to do a special Cincinnati Bengals memorabilia show, and more details to come out about it. We got our good friend Josh, who has been on a few of our shows with us. We're going to probably get a lot of you engaged in this show Sunday, but it is all going to be 100%. We're not talking X's and O's or W's and L's or what teams we like or don't like. We are flat out going to be talking Bengals memorabilia, and we're going to get a lot of you guys involved in it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So be ready. Just pay attention to social media. We'll get some more information out about that. But next Sunday, 8 o'clock, this Sunday, 8 o'clock, a special Cincinnati Bengals memorabilia show. And we got people from all over the place that will be participating in that. Don't forget the June 19th. Chris, thanks. I know June 18th is my birthday, by the way. But June 19th, guys, look, tell your friends, tell your family. There's going to be a huge push here 30 days out, which is coming up. It's about getting bodies there. And we got a good chunk of people already there. We just need to make sure we overwhelm that tent with Bengal fans up there. We're going to have a lot of local media. We've got some national media on board. We're going to have the 9 senior voters paying attention to this. So we are going to have a lot of fun up there. Just make sure you share that with friends and families. And if you're able to make it up there, make sure you get up there. But we appreciate everybody for viewing. We will see you again Sunday. Pay attention to our social media post on details about Sunday's show for the special memorabilia show this Sunday. Thanks, guys. Huday, 17-0. Great schedule. We're excited about it. See you guys.